I got a bad hand, but other than that,
There we are. I'm gonna have to get me an agent. I'm gonna have to get me an agent, Jamie.
is everything going okay with you?
Yeah. My daughter graduated from Lawrence North last week.
Yeah,
Right.
congrats.
Praise God.
How about
Yes,
that?
Very good,
indeed,
excellent.
indeed.
Jesus.
She's been at Ivy Tech since January, so she will have another 5 or 6 months before her associate's degree, and she'll slide into Keller School of Business.
Really?
Yeah.
Phew. Tell her to
great.
take care of her dad.
Hey, I think she's the one.
There you go.
She's the one.
Kind of a backup plan, eh?
Hi, Ms. Dunn. Good evening, folks. Welcome to the June, it is June. Whew. June 11th meeting of the City of Lawrence Parks Board. Good to see your faces. Thank you, I-9 Sports, for coming back and tolerating us for another meeting. So we got you down here. We'll get some action on it. Couple of things. First off, if I break down into a coughing fit, being a guy, I hadn't taken my allergy meds for 3 days. I got it filled about an hour ago, so I'm about a month behind on my snot delivery.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Dad here, who had a daughter graduate from Lawrence North High School. There you go. Congratulations to my Lawrence North Wildcat men's track team for winning our 5th state title. And Jane Paddock won the pole vault
Yes, she did.
for Lawrence North in the ladies division. So that's LN's second team championship. I get to brag on it a little bit. Not that I'm bragging. So let's rock and roll. The weather's great. Real quick, we have our minutes from April. I've had a chance to look at them a little bit. Yeah, May. This is June, isn't it? Jesus, I got to put my other eyes on.
And this is,
Oh, yeah, May. Good Lord. I'd entertain a motion to accept the minutes as submitted.
I've got a question.
Yes, sir.
The last sentence, it says, can you remind me what the mayor said about the sports league contract?
Eric?
About what? I'm sorry.
The last sentence there, Tom's asked the mayor to state that she's been talking to Eric about sports league contracts and need to take a look at past and present to reevaluate their
Yeah,
contract.
just like the long-term agreements we're in with OYO and
FC
FC
Pride.
Pride to make sure things are equitable with those groups, so.
Okay, not to change the contracts anyway, just to.
No, just to make
They're
sure.
complying, is that?
Correct, yeah, and to make sure that we're, that it's equal across the board, that everyone's being charged and that the amounts are equitable to the groups.
Okay. And I know, should know this, but how much are we charging them, or what's their part of the deal? Just roughly?
FC Pride and OYO are roughly $20,000 to $25,000 annually of recoupment back into the program, into the facilities.
Okay,
So, and we have to look at that at the end of each fiscal year, what they've provided, and that's where the reporting comes in.
okay,
So-
that's
So
what I
we-
wanted to know.
Just to make sure that we're, again, looking at that $10 to $15 a person. And OYO's numbers are going to be about almost 3,000 or 2,500 this year, so
Okay,
it should be pretty
okay,
close to that.
that's what I was wondering about, because I couldn't remember.
Yeah.
Good enough. Hi, Miss Helen. I may steal your cane before this is over tonight, so you better guard it. Any other questions on the minutes? Okay, I'd entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second?
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. Real quick, Miss Jamie, you want anything exciting where we're at? Farmers Market's rocking and rolling tomorrow? All right, and we got Eric 4th of July coming up. You want to give us a quick counting of that?
Parade entries are due by Friday.
You want to see something to make Dee's head spin?
Yeah. The car show, skating competition, 2 bands, Roscoe and the Hammers and Toy Factory. bounce houses.
We got 4 bands?
3 bands.
3 bands, got it.
No,
Fish
no,
fry? Fish fry is still,
yes.
Fish fry, car show,
D or we yellow? D.
parade, fish fry, car show, bounce houses, best trick skateboard competition, kickball tournament, bounce houses, 2 bands, fireworks.
is there an adult bounce house or is it just for the kids?
I actually asked the owner and he said the adults can get on it. There will be a toddler one, you probably can't get on that one. And
Adult
we're hoping
bounce house.
for at least 1 water bounce house, since we know it's like 120 degrees outside
That's
on that
awesome.
day, so something to cool everybody off.
The kickball tournament for whom?
So a nonprofit organization called I forgot what it's called. They're a nonprofit organization that runs kickball tournaments to try to keep kids off the street. So that's what the kickball tournament is for. But the idea is to have families come out. We are talking with them now to see if they want individuals or if they want us to do the forms for families only. They usually just do it by individuals though, so it's probably just individuals can sign up. They'll be in teams of 9 and it'll be from 11 to 3 will be the tournament.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Fun stuff. Thank you.
Eric, real quick, out at the dog park, about 50 feet east of the entrance, one of the fence caps and pole, I don't know if someone was jumping the fence or not. The cap's off and the pole was about out of the ground. I just noticed it driving over here.
It's on the dog park side.
No, it's east on the east side of the entrance.
Okay.
It's about 50 or so feet from the entrance. I just noticed it driving over here. And we have separated where we're planting some new grass over there.
We are, yeah. It's been planted and actually coming up
Tuesday.
fairly well, so.
We've had good grass growing weather. We've had some chipped up, from the old batting cage at Lee Road, the big baseball field. Are we going to use that or dispose of it?
Jim and his crew are gonna
Got
pull
it.
that out, and they've got it torn up, and then they were gonna pull it out, take it to have it recycled, but
Okay.
he's had some, he had a death in his family, and he's taking some deserved
Yeah.
fishing vacations.
Yes,
this
yep,
week.
I knew he was going to.
Back, he'll
Got
get
it.
that cleaned up.
Eric, one follow-up question on that. Are they still planning on putting in the volleyball?
Yeah, it was, so it'll probably be sometime in July that we'll start that project, yeah.
Very good.
It'll be where the asphalt was? Or?
Well, we're not sure yet. We're still under discussion. The mayor'd like to see it over there, but then it's awfully far from the parking lot. So we'll discuss that and determine the best location for it.
At Railroad Park.
Oh, okay.
And real quick, I wanted Eric to share with folks, as fortunately, we keep adding amenities to our park system, be it buildings, parks equipment. Eric, share out with folks, sometimes the difficulty of not only you want to add stuff, but maintain what we already have, but some of the joys that we've been experiencing this week.
Today's Wednesday, and we've had something break every day. So it's just been one of those weeks. We had the furnaces go down at the Starrett Center, the
Air
HVAC,
conditioning.
the air conditioning units. Same thing happened at the community center. We had a leaky
You can quote Bob Connor.
sanitary pipe
He did-
in the community center. We've got to get fixed. Seat broke on lawnmower. Just, yeah, I mean, but it.
It's like being gummed to death.
What
Yeah,
happened,
some weeks
Eric?
are just
What
like
happened
that.
at the community park? Because we noticed that the little, where you set the temperature and stuff, that wasn't lit up or anything.
Yeah.
But the temperature was fine in there.
Yeah, so it was still running, but yeah, so he's gonna put a new thermostat in. And then we've got issues with another unit in there that we're not sure what's wrong with it, so.
And those aren't very old, correct?
They're not, and they were under contract with a company. That contract, the city dropped that this year, so we've got to pick that up and keep an eye on those.
Got it.
But I mean, all's good, but it just, some weeks are just like that.
I do have a question. Do we have a maintenance plan, or is that all done in-house, or how is that?
It's done if we can handle it, but unfortunately, we don't have anybody on staff that's very knowledgeable of HVAC, so we have to farm most of that out.
But
We've got-
we have a company that
We do have a
run-
contractor that is he's actually a citizen of Lawrence, and he comes and helps us out.
Have we ever done a facility study to see what, for example, things like HVAC, roofs, all of those things, where they are in terms of their life longevity?
The company that did our energy assistance
Synergistic?
program, yeah, and it was Perfection Group that had that, and they put a lot of those furnaces and did lighting and did different roofing projects, windows at Gin Park, various things, and they did an audit at that time. And we're pretty well caught up on it, just things seem to happen, and, yeah, we don't have any furnaces or anything that's more than 8 or 10 years old now, so we have been keeping up with that. But as far as a set plan, no, we do not have one.
Is that something, Jamie, Eric, we have wrapped up a part of our strategic plan, 3-year strategic plan? Do we want to, I know you guys love meetings, do we want to add that as another component to our strategic plan?
Yeah, I mean, it could be that or in the master plan
Okay.
portion of the.
Got it.
For the
Something we
community.
do need to look at.
Strategic plan, go ahead, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead, Jamie. Our facilities, our building, like Ms. Dunn mentioned, have, schedules, what's
Well,
the conditions of our roofs?
We
of-
did
I
have
think we
that,
included that in there,
but-
in the 3-year.
yeah, but to a degree where we actually go out and audit each,
Yeah,
I don't know that was in there, but it
Okay.
can certainly be, if it's something we can do in-house.
okay. Because like I said, I know we're wanting to add to our parks amenities and system. We just got to be able, every time we add, got to be able to maintain, take care of them.
Strategic plan for the whole city or for?
No, just for our department.
So where did that come from?
It came from Jamie and I and Jeff and Leandre Level started before he left the city. So we just went through and we've got it developed, we haven't got it finalized
Are you
yet.
coming back here?
It will, yeah, we'll
Okay.
get you a copy of it, see what
That's
we
my
put
question.
together, yeah.
All right, real quick, Eric, boy, I can't see. I think sometime next week, we're going to meet with REA. They have a couple conceptions too. This is the group that the Reuse Authority paid to create a master plan for the community, for a community park, and they have a couple of concepts that they want to share out to the group, and it's going to be next Thursday, correct? I'm not sure of the time.
I don't know that,
Because they sent out when we wanted to
I
meet.
think it
They're-
was just,
That was the deadline when it for.
yeah, just a questionnaire on what dates you could meet, I
Right,
think.
Yes, yeah,
I don't know that they've set the date or not.
okay. But be prepared, we'll have a presentation for us about what they're thinking about. And my last thing, Eric, anything, we're going to ask it, either Tom's going to ask it or I'm going to ask it, where are we at on paving Community Park? I thought I'd ask it this month.
Thank you, you upstaged me on that.
So, yeah, they're gonna do the staking after July 4th.
Right.
Because,
It's chaotic enough.
That's-
yeah,
that makes
so after July 4th, they'll do the staking, and I believe that Jim has a contract with both Poindexter and Reese.
Construction.
Construction.
Okay.
To start that process.
Did that come through the Board of Works?
It's through the storm I believe storm sewer, storm department, yeah, storm sewer, so,
Okay, because I didn't see that in the Board of Works.
well,
I don't remember seeing that. Maybe I
okay.
just missed it.
I don't know, but I thought it,
Which is fine. I mean,
We're talking about the repaving of community.
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Real quick, anything, go
Yeah,
ahead, Tom.
on that, the Board of Works there's a bond issue, it was an agreement, a letter of agreement in tomorrow's Board of Works meeting for bonds. You know anything about that?
I don't.
Okay. Counselor, do you know anything about that? It's kind of strange. I don't know where we're getting the bonding ability and what we're gonna do with it. Or whether I wouldn't think you'd be refunding your bonds. Things haven't improved.
Unless it's construction bonds that,
Well, there was, I don't remember exactly, there were 3 different bonds. One of them was a general obligation bond.
oh, okay.
So I just wondered if you knew anything about that.
I don't know.
On the master plan, can we get a copy of the results? You know,
Yeah,
from
the
last-
slide program, yeah.
Did they?
I did not see it. I'll ask
I
Robert. if we
think
can get-
I'll be,
or
send that
Patrick.
to everybody, because everybody needs to see that.
Good point. Yep.
The money for whatever we do, is the reuse authority interested in putting up some of that money, since they put up the money for the study? The reuse authority, if they've got money, well, you know,
It's,
I mean, they're the ones that started this.
We could, after we get a chance to look at the concepts that are presented, maybe we address the Reuse Authority Board. I'll reach out to Russ Brown.
Got connections.
Yeah, I'll reach out to Russ and go, thank you, this is something, we went this from Plan A, this from Plan B, help us out a little bit. Because over there at the park, Reuse Authority that gave us, they paid for, when the skate park was initially installed, correct?
correct.
Okay,
Oh, okay. I'd forgotten that.
yep.
All right, good for them. So that wouldn't be unprecedented.
And the Civic Plaza too,
Yeah.
so there you go.
Okay. Yeah, well, I knew that, but didn't know about the skate park.
Any other
Again,
question?
back to the question about who's gonna make the final decision on this. Have we ever come up with any kind of idea about who's gonna make the decision about what gets done with this stuff?
I think that the committee will have input, and then it will be the funding issue. So, I mean, it'll be the Parks Board that'll make the final decision.
Okay,
with that regard.
that's basically my question.
Yes.
I mean, I want input. I want everybody
Yep.
saying their piece, and,
Yep.
but I still wanna make sure that.
Because when it goes good, everybody wants the glory. If something goes bad or wrong, the 5 of us will have the rocks thrown at.
But we're not gonna be able to do everything, so
No.
somebody's gonna be unhappy with this, and
Yeah.
that's okay. That's the way it works.
Yep.
The master plan, the 5-year master plan, is that next year?
It's due to re-up in
I'm thinking it's next year.
26,
26,
Yeah.
so it's next year.
yeah.
Okay.
Darn it.
Won't be long.
I'll be honest, we began, I know we haven't started reaching out.
No.
But it'll be January before we know it.
Yeah,
Have we budgeted for it?
it'll have to be in 2026.
Got it,
yeah.
yep.
Are we having any problem with homeless people in the back of the community park?
Not lately. They did a sweep a few weeks ago and moved some gentlemen out of there or asked them to leave. And the CSX security's been checking on it. As far as I know, that I haven't personally seen anybody,
Okay.
but that doesn't. I'm not over there as early as maintenance guys, so I'll ask them if they've had any issues,
Okay.
but they haven't said anything.
Are we thinking about cleaning up that area back there?
Well, I think it's something that we're in discussion about, yeah. We've got some council members that would like to help out with that, and that's something we're going to gonna do some research on, find out.
You know,
Unfortunate thing, the CSX
Yeah.
has that easement, and they won't let us on there without an act of Congress, but,
Yeah,
and
they're
then there's
not
also,
CSX is not interested in helping out with this.
then there's also an easement for the utilities, that, the overhead utilities. I'm not sure if it's AES or who has the, that might be a little easier ask. There's about 110 feet of right-of-way down through there, so there's quite a bit of area that isn't in the city jurisdiction.
I
There
understand.
are some areas that are actually on
Yeah,
park
it'd
property.
be nice to just clean that up back there.
Yeah.
When we ask those people to move, do we try to connect them with some organization, or, I know the city of Indianapolis is doing some things now.
Yeah, I know, the last time it was Mel Keaton from our police chaplains, and then also there was a representative from IMPD and the CSX group, so, yeah, I think they're trying to help.
Okay, I just want to make sure they get connected to something.
Yeah,
Where, I mean, I don't think we have the resources to do that, but other people do, and I want
Yeah.
to make sure they.
I know
So they
IMPD,
don't come back.
yeah.
I mean,
I-
I don't
They
want them
just
coming
like
back.
living out there, though.
Yeah, I mean, you know, they've got other problems, no doubt, and so I think we need to give them a help. I know there's no sense in asking about raises, but,
Haven't had anything yet.
yeah, no, the chief of staff mentioned doing an audit at the last, was it the last council meeting, that he mentioned doing some kind of audit? Is that, do you know anything about that?
I didn't, I haven't heard anything like that, and we didn't, hasn't been discussed in our staff meetings, so.
Because I was a little, I mean, all he said was, I think he said it was internal and something. I don't remember exact words he used, but nobody asked him about it. So it was kind of confusing, and I didn't know if that was coming down to the departmental level, or.
I mean, we've had discussions about the discrepancy in pay from
Yeah,
utility workers or park workers or street workers or whomever, and there ought to be,
yeah, I mean, it's part of the whole process. If he's going to do it, they're going to do an audit, they need to look at the whole
Yeah.
works and
Yeah.
see what the deal is.
I can ask him about it, but I'm not
Yeah,
aware
so, I
of it.
mean, I think we need to get some clarification on that and how that affects what we're doing. Liability insurance, does the city have liability insurance now?
As far as I know, yeah, there was some issues with insurance on police vehicles, and I think they've got that ironed out, but that was,
Okay, so you
that,
think-
yeah,
So as far
it wasn't the general liability of the city, it was
It was about the police.
it was,
vehicles.
yeah,
Okay.
police and,
I just want to get that straight. How are we doing on keeping motorized vehicles
Oh,
out
God,
of
yeah, I
the
forgot.
community park? I mean, I heard that it's better in the neighborhoods.
oh, the mini
Spinner.
bikes and,
Yeah, and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, spinners,
I mean, I
mini
know
bikes.
it's kind of an ongoing thing.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want it to get to the point where there's lots of them. You're gonna get one once in a while, and you probably can't stop everyone.
well, we had some spinning of, there's an automobile that tore up some turf at Community Park
Yeah.
2 weeks ago. We've since got that aerated and refertilized, so hopefully it'll pop back up, but,
But there's no ordinance in the city that covers spinning and that kind of stuff, you know, it's, because I think other places have done ordinances about that. I mean, we did that ordinance about 100 people meeting.
Yeah.
Try to, you know, but that's not gonna stop those people. So I'd like to see something done about that, because I mean, it's a problem, it is a problem. It's a problem not just here, but lots of places.
yeah.
So we probably need to do something about that. And it's certainly going to cause,
Well, I know Fishers, when they opened up, God, it's been 4 or 5 years, they opened up the new parking garage downtown. They had a giant issue of the spinning and did, well, vagrants, but the spinning issue, and they didn't waste time, they did pass an ordinance. Very specific.
Yeah, and so there are examples of that, I think, around.
Yeah, I thought I thought the city did something the last time we had that situation back during the Collier administration, when they did that at Community Park or on Franklin Road. I thought they came up with something then.
Well, I thought that was the purpose of the 100, you know, if you haven't gonna have more than 100 people, well, you had to have some kind of permit that have that group of people together, and that was aimed at the spinning issues, so I don't know.
Well, I know the ordinance is in effect for the gathering for
Yeah,
the special event ordinance.
I know we did that, but I was wondering if we're don't need something about this specifically about spinning and that kind of thing. One last thing. Back to the Civic Plaza, get this right. Not Civic Plaza, what's the other?
Cultural
Campus?
Cultural campus. Is that a park?
Yes,
Okay,
yeah.
then does Loggers and Lawrence need an agreement with us to use that? The Indiana on Tap is the.
Yeah. It goes, the Board of Works approved the contract.
Yeah, but that still doesn't relieve them from having our permission. I mean, I voted in favor of it.
Yeah.
I'm not against it, but I don't want to set a precedent for being able to use it for whatever through any setup.
Yeah,
So I don't see any reason why they couldn't come back and get a.
Or come to, if it is a
get
park.
Usage agreement with us.
Yeah.
Because apparently, we've turned that over, the city has turned that over to Indiana on Tap.
Right.
They're running it. It's their.
it's their
venue.
event, yeah.
So I think they need an agreement with us to be able to do that. That's all.
Anything else from Mr. Eric?
Nope.
All right, Eric, you got something for us? I know right now your hands are full dealing with 4th of July, but anything else?
No, not really. Just a couple things going on. We do have fencing that is going at Explorer and repairing at Explorer. And then Community Park, we've got some new fencing. We're hopefully going to get it in next week and have it in before July 4th, so.
And where's that going?
At Explorer Park, it's just some repairs.
Right.
We had a vehicle do some damage over there, so some repairs. At Community Park, it's along the parking lot in front.
Oh, that's right. Yep.
And we took that out 2 weeks ago, and so we need to.
And speaking of fencing, I did notice that in the back, the white fencing at soccer, have they removed that yet, or has it been removed?
No.
Where it's come down?
No.
I like to see that, at least. I know guys trying to keep their heads above water, but at least try to have it removed by the 4th of July. I always hated that.
Is there still some broken ones?
Oh, wait, a lot of, another section that's fallen down completely.
Oh, okay.
I've always hated
I'd
that
have it
fence.
back there for a while.
Ugh.
DFAS picnic on June the 27th. That's a big event in the park. It's just the Juneteenth celebrations, June 21st at Cultural Campus, and city's providing the stage for that event. The musical instruments came in on Monday, and as soon as we
All right.
can find a location for those, we'll get those put in, and then we'll have a dedication service or program and invite the,
Eric, do you have a
Fine,
concept
Honor.
of where we want to put them?
somewhere around the musical swings,
Right,
proximity to that, so we're just trying to find a place that's not in the way, but, where.
It's fitting.
Utilize.
Good place for them, yeah.
Yeah. And again, you mentioned Bark Park, so I think Bob's going to fertilize out there tomorrow and get that done, so. All in all, it's been pretty successful.
Yeah, Mother Nature's helped out a lot. All right, anything else, Mr. Eric?
No.
All right, tonight, we have before us, folks from I-9 Sports. They have returned. They're brave crowd. Eric, you like to share with, what the agreement entails, and maybe I-9 for some of my board members that didn't hear the presentation. So if you want to come up yonder, give us a quick synopsis of, and you probably have seen their signs up around the city for the I-9 group themselves, and then the I-9 summer camps that, so have at it.
Yeah. So do you want just to go back over who we are? Is that what you're hoping?
Kind of
So
who
make
you
sure-
are, and,
Okay.
and real quickly, what you're gonna do in Lawrence in particular.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so we're bringing youth sports to the area, and so we started in Fishers first, and then have been looking for a location in Lawrence. We offer, our outdoor sports that we offer is flag, t-ball, and soccer, and then we also have a multi-sport, which is for ages 3 to 6, and it does t-ball, soccer, and flag football all within one season. So they kind of do 2 weeks of each at the littles just to try out the different sports and those kind of things. So it's really nice for kids who have no idea what they want to do.
And
So-
what's the age range that you target group?
Yeah, so the overall is 3 to 14, depending on the sport. So for the multi, we do 3 to 6, t-ball's 3 to 6. Flag football is 4 to 14, soccer is 3 to 12, and then we have basketball that is 5 to 12, and then we're gonna have volleyball in Fishers as well, and that'll be 7 to 14. So basketball and volleyball right now, we just have in a Fishers location, but we do offer those sports as well.
And the goal primary for I-9 is something that we have a void in the city. It's for the kids that don't know what they want to do yet. It's non-travel type of activity.
Correct.
Because we know your kid's going to play for the Yankees. Just ask all the kids and moms and dads that go to all the travel baseball games. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm one of those parents, so I understand. Part of it is, it's very rec level. We definitely want to keep it rec level, keep it fun. That's one of our big mottos, is making sure that the kids are having fun, having a good time. All of our weeks, each of our weeks, we focus on a different sportsmanship value. So each week we do a different value. We make sure the coaches talk to the kiddos about the value, and then at the end of the day, because we do practice and then a game, at the end of the day, they award whoever showed that value the best. So if it's, respect or humility, those kind of things, they kind of explain to them at an appropriate age level, right? A 3-year-old's going to understand a little bit different than a 12-year-old, but we make sure they understand it, and then they give out the sportsmanship medal at the end of the playing day. We are 1 day a week, which makes it really nice. It's just Saturdays, and so we do a practice before games. So busy parents, dual working parents especially, we're a great program for that, because you're not trying to run 3 kids to Thursday night, Tuesday night, and then also on Saturday and Sunday and all that. So it definitely makes it nice. It's a growth sport, entry level, beginners are welcome, whether you're at 3 years old or at 10 years old, because my 10-year-old, there's not a lot of places, if he's never played, flag football before, that he can go, that these kids didn't start at 4, right? And so then he's already behind at 10, which seems crazy to me. So kind of nice that they get that opportunity to kind of fit in to a place that, like you were saying, there's a big hole, I feel like, right now in the community for.
Now, in Lawrence, you're looking, just to get down to brass tacks.
Yeah.
Bring flag football to Burns Field, and that the time frame, you would have a summer program and a fall program?
So it'll be just fall.
Okay.
So yeah. So this season, or this year, because we're almost starting
Right.
summer, so we don't have
Right.
enough time to market for that. But we'll do fall. We'll start September 6th, and it'll go through October 18th. And then Eric and I had built in some rain out days as well, for just in case, you know, when it gets rained out, we'll move it to, I think it's October 25th. And then we did to November 1st, which is the part of that rain out deadline. And then it's flag football, and then we're bringing multi-sport, which is that 3-sport for the kids to try as well. And then soccer would be the other one. Yep. So just not T-ball.
Questions for,
On that line. Yes, I saw one of the yard signs about sportsmanship awards.
Oh, yeah, in somebody's yard.
Messrs. and Eric are, it's in our neighborhood.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yep,
Yeah.
May I speak to that?
sure.
Yeah.
I'm
making Rick, he just got comfortable.
I'm Liz Mazur, I serve on the council, and my pet peeve is those little yard signs, but I didn't mean to get my cranky pants on. It's a good organization, so I apologize. So please go ahead and have those signs.
Well, we have different yard signs. So the ones he's talking about are actually our sportsmanship signs. So when a kid gets a
Cranky
medal
pants.
each week, they get a sign to put in their front yard. So it actually isn't part of, like, you know, it wouldn't be on like the street corners and those kind of things. So that one's a little bit different than the like street corner signs. And so we will talk to our staff about making sure they're not.
Yeah, just
Within
checking
that,
with,
yeah.
so my.
Yeah, no worries. No, I appreciate it.
Where does one buy cranky pants at? So, holy hell.
I'm in favor of banning all political.
Oh, yeah, right there with
Do
you.
away with all of those.
Yeah.
Is there anything else if you could, and I should know this because I've got all of the information, I'm sure you guys have it electronically, could you share with my board what you've shared with us, or definitely shared with me and Eric and Tom from that last meeting, if you could share with the rest of the board?
Which, like the,
This thing.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh.
I think everybody got
Yeah, we
one,
got
so-
that
Oh,
at
you
the
did?
last.
Okay, I
yeah.
didn't know. Okay,
Okay.
good enough,
yeah.
good enough. Anything else?
Anything else?
It's our standard agreement.
Yep.
Again, it's a 6-week program with 2 weeks extension
If needed.
due to rain. We're charging them $65 per field, per day, or per event, so roughly $200 per week. And they're gonna bring out a little storage shed to put their equipment in. And then we'll, other than that, they don't need a lot of room. And keys,
Yeah.
keys to the
you-
restroom, that's
Yeah.
all.
Yeah, the bathroom.
Just Burnsfield, who else is using that in the fall?
In the fall, our Gaelic wraps up the end of August.
Right.
Right now, we don't have anything else scheduled.
Okay.
Because we haven't done anything with the,
Has the Y approached us?
no.
Okay.
So literally, they will be the only ones that are
At
utilizing?
present time, yeah.
Okay.
I'm sure we'll have some requests from the tackle football group, but we'll address that when it,
And insurance, I'm having dug through here, insurance, certificate insurance, it's
she'll send that.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
parts-
and it'll list the
Yeah.
Parks Department on it
Got it.
specifically, yeah.
all right. Tom, anyone?
Yeah, you know, my only thing about this is the cost for people who may not be able to afford that. So I know you addressed that to some degree, but I was wondering if there's a better way of informing people about the availability.
I don't have anything specifically. I would, you know, maybe we could work with the parks to see about the website and if there's a way for us to link it to like Lawrence Park website as well. I don't, like, I'm spitballing. I don't know for sure if that's something we could do. But, you know, besides that, like, you know, if they call into our customer service center, our customer service reps know that. So I think it would be something they would need to reach out. Like, if obviously if they reach out to me, I can let them know that as well. And our number and email is everywhere on the website.
Right.
So if it's somebody who, you know, feels like they can't afford that. The other thing we do is if they put a registration in a shopping cart, we make all those calls as well. And we say, why haven't you signed up? And so if they get to that point and they just didn't sign up because then they realize the price, which we've had happen, we can also let them know that. So we do have kind of an outreach side of it as well, where if they get to that point, now if they go look at the registration and say too much and walk away, there's not a whole lot I can do,
Yeah.
unfortunately, about that,
I'm not
but,
necessarily putting a burden for doing that on.
Sure.
But I just want people to be informed and see if there's some way we can come up with some money.
We've got, I think, working with our IT and working with Roman, I think, have, I&I work with Roman
Yeah,
Cofer.
Roman's
I think that would
for
be
summer.
a perfect opportunity, and the info will get out. We have the ability to work with them directly. We have the personnel. Roman Cofer will do a great job.
Yeah.
I think that's the person you reach out to directly and
Yeah.
work with.
Yeah, and I'm already working with him
Yep.
for the summer registration.
Yep, that's what I thought.
To Lawrence, they're coming to I-9, and we're giving them the discount for the summer of the $50 that they signed up for Lawrence. So for the people that had signed up for the Lawrence flag football for the summer that Roman had put together, we are accepting that $50 for the summer program.
So you're charging just $50 for those?
Just the people for the summer program that
Okay.
signed up with Lawrence already, the one that Roman had
Yeah,
put
yeah.
together, they're gonna come to Trinity and play with us. So we offered that to those families, they said yes, so
not
we're working on that.
discounts, they're at $50 flat?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, because that's what it was offered through Lawrence, so we're just honoring that price.
But the regular price is $154, is that right?
Correct, yeah, that's the full price. There's an early bird price that's all the way down to $134, so if they sign up early, you can get down to $134, and then I send out coupons all the time, honestly. But yes, so somewhere between $134, late fee registration goes up to $179, so somewhere in that range is usually where it kind of falls.
Yeah, my concern is parents looking at the price and saying, no, we can't do that.
Yeah.
You know, that they need to have a way up front to know that there's some way that their kids can participate without paying the full price. That's my concern. And then maybe trying to look for ways that we could fund that other than you funding it, because you're trying to make a little money out of this.
Yeah, sure, I mean, if
I
the City of
don't
Lawrence
object
wants
to
to send us money, I'm not gonna turn it down.
I mean, I don't.
Going the wrong direction.
That's not my objection.
Yeah.
So to kind of help out with that, Chris Finley, but one of the things that we've been trying to work with is like the schools and stuff like that, getting that information out to them. So for that communication piece and that education piece, that might be a really good venue to be able to get that out to the families. It's providing those like resources, or at least having that available to the schools so they know that, because when it comes down to finances, they're less likely to come communicate the problems to us.
Right.
But through the schools and stuff like that, they can. So that might be the easiest and really financially the cheapest way, is to communicate that through the schools, through like a flyer or a peach jar or something to that, like the digital, the realm. So those who are struggling to be able to afford the fees, because I mean, everyone has them, they're all varying different prices, but getting that research out to them might be enough, and the schools can easily push that information out without having to have that burden placed on the families to come to talk to somebody about a
Right,
financial issue.
right.
So,
I was going to ask you, Ms.
And
Dunn,
the city too.
what's the avenue maybe?
One of the things I was also going to suggest is, I know at times, speaking of the schools, if there's a field trip, things of that nature that incur costs, sometimes there's that opportunity for families to donate additional money.
Oh, sure.
$25, $50, or the entire registration fee. So that might be something, because I know that is something that a lot of families will do, is if they have the means, they will donate extra to go towards somebody that needs that. And so that might be something that you add, is a donation to support an athlete
Yeah,
that might otherwise.
unfortunately, we're not a nonprofit, so we have to
Oh.
be really careful about that kind of thing because we don't fall underneath that 501c3.
Could that, I guess that's not something the parks could,
Yeah, so
take
that's it gets kind of tricky with that, and that's why we worked with this other organization, because they are a nonprofit and they can do that. I mean, there is a big, and I'm blanking on the name right now, but within Indianapolis, there is a big sports organization also that donates to a lot of the different organizations that are nonprofits. And so locally, there is another organization that I could potentially see if that would be something they would be willing to kind of branch for us. So not completely off the table. We just have to be careful because we're not a nonprofit in that respect.
Is it the Indiana Sports Corp that does it?
That sounds right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I thought.
yeah. So,
Yeah, there must be a lot of money, there's enough money floating around out there amongst the
yeah.
professional sports organizations to be.
yeah,
able
there's
to
a lot
pound
for
a little
sure.
bit here.
Yeah.
And a lot of that's our tax money anyway, so.
Well, a good example of that also is the Indianapolis Colts and the NFL, but locally, the Indianapolis Colts is the underwriter for girls flag football at the high school level, and that will be the next varsity sport. Ellen started flag football practice today, as a matter of fact.
Yep.
It's good.
So,
Yeah.
all right, anything else? Any other questions, colleagues? All right, I'd entertain a motion, enter into agreement with I-9 Sports and the City of Lawrence Parks Board for the fall of 2025.
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, make it happen. Yay. Now, we have another fun one coming up, and if you, I never learned to play an instrument. I'm a hell of a whistler. I can do that. And we have another one here for the International Drum Corps, and they've used Burns Park for 4 or 5 years at least.
Yeah, several years.
And if you want to, it is cool, just to come out and watch them practice. The neighbors kind of get their tail feathers ruffled a little bit. They want to be August 7th and 8th, 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. to practice. They're going to pay a $150 per day fee for a total of $300.
And this is just the alumni group. This is people from the age of, I think last year they had a gentleman there that just turned 90. And all
He
the
and
way-
John Philip
all the way to
Sousa performed
21,
together.
22 years old, out of high school or out of college.
Holy heck.
So I do wonder, because 10 o'clock is a little late. I mean, if I were a neighbor, I would be a little frustrated, to be real honest.
Yeah,
I
that-
think 7, 8 o'clock is probably,
What's the noise, the ordinance for
especially if you
Lawrence?
have babies, children.
11.
10, I-
11.
10 or
Yeah, and
11.
school's already in session
Yeah.
on those days. Can we
Oh.
amend it,
We can talk to Jay. Last year it was 8 o'clock, so all.
8 or 9 o'clock?
Yeah.
I think 8 o'clock sounds, again, I'm thinking about moms, I'm thinking about working folks. I mean,
Yeah.
if you have a bunch of drums that are beating right down the street from you, that, I would be frustrated by
And
that.
they're out there all day. I don't know how they do it.
Oh, I know, and it's hot.
What are the dates on that again?
August 7th and 8th.
Okay.
We're
So
all
that
about
doesn't
people playing the
conflict.
drums.
Well, we
It's
get
not
it.
after 8
Well,
o'clock.
it's still daylight at 8 o'clock, so.
I feel the emails when we have football games on Friday night, because they hear my big mouth and the fireworks going off, and
Yeah, they're all
it's a Thursday and a Friday.
9 or 10.
Thursday and a Friday. All right. With an amended version pushing for 8 p.m., I would entertain a motion to enter agreement with the International Drum Corps for usage on August 7th and 8th.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All righty. Fun stuff. All right, public, come on down. Want to share anything with us? Glad to see our council here. One nice thing is, I know Ms. Mazur and I had a nice long chat yesterday afternoon, and the council is wanting to possibly partner with us on a project, and have at it, Ms. Liz.
Well, in the near future, we will be having a Parks Committee meeting. We have to get that approved at the next Common Council meeting, and we will be discussing, we would like to distribute some monies to the Parks Department. Our council president, Zach Kramer, one of the main reasons he ran for council was that he wanted to give back to the parks. And I think Christy Crone and Rick Wells feel the same, that the parks are very important and we want to help them out. So as soon as I get the room scheduled and get it approved, we'll keep you informed about the Parks Committee meeting, talking about possible things that the park can use and that we could supply.
And in our conversation we had yesterday, it's nothing that we haven't ourselves talked amongst, and this was coming from Liz, it's nothing that we haven't oh, how come we don't have this, or why can't we do X, Y, Z? And, you know, me, Eric, and Rick Wells are the fossils in the room who have lived in Lawrence forever. I think, Rick, you got me beat. But, you know, I'm glad to see the council stepping up, and, because I've always kind of, I won't say the B word, but complained a lot that the council, the Parks Committee has not met as often as I think it should. You know, quality of life issue is a big deal, and I'm happy to see we have an opportunity to work in partnership. So thank you much.
And a few more things. First of all, we are all very interested in hearing about the REA, the Rundell Ernstberger Associates report, interested in that. And then I thought that a couple of meetings ago, there was a discussion about a company or using a tool to charge fees for parking. Has anything?
Civic Plus,
Oh, the Civic Plus?
yes.
Yeah, we've asked that's for rentals, facility rentals and programming. We've asked to rescind that for the time being until we have an opportunity to flush it out, because our Tyler Tech pay system, we're changing things now, the city's changing things, so we want to make sure that is on board before we look at this Civic
Okay,
Plus.
so it's still in the works.
It's in the work
Yeah.
probably for next year possibly, but with the system they're tweaking now, they're still juggling some chainsaws and making sure they don't cut anything off. So I think next year we'll return and visit that again.
And then I do have a celebration. I was over pulling up thistle at Veterans Park today in one of the pollinator planting areas and saw a monarch butterfly. So you plant
Oh,
the
wow.
milkweed, they will come.
They will come.
So we need to keep on planting more milkweed because I want more than one. I think we all do, more than one monarch there. And then the next thing is that I do have a concern because the city of Lawrence has a weeds and rank vegetation ordinance, and that's Title 3, Article 3, Chapter 3, Section 7. And right now, we're kind of in violation of our own code because we have poison hemlock and thistle growing in some of our park areas. And the poison hemlock is really something to be concerned about.
We're mowing that tomorrow, Liz.
Okay, great, because and I want you to make sure you're really, really careful because that stuff is really
Yeah, no,
poisonous.
we're going to utilize the Bobcat, so we'll be enclosed and.
Yeah, but, yeah, so thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
For doing that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I have a question for you.
Yes.
The trees that Jim brought up at, the trees at the dog park, I think it was Mr. Masur that brought that up. But did we figure out what was going on with that? Where, said there was,
That
The trees were
Rick
getting spots on
suggested
them?
that maybe the deer are rubbing against the trees and that it's not
Yeah,
chemicals.
is that what it was, or was it some
I don't-
poison that we were putting on them?
I did not research into it, but just, once again, I know we're putting fertilizer on there, but that to avoid using herbicides and any other fertilizer as much as, and make sure that people are notified whether that was causing the trees. But I think my husband would like to speak for himself.
Yeah,
Okay.
that would be fine. I just want to make sure we got that question answered.
You did such a good job on the poison hemlock. She stole my thunder. I have videos and
I
pictures.
was going to say, there's the
I was there with
histories,
a mask.
there's stories written about hemlock, so, ugh.
Push back on
You
that.
know what? Yeah, I just tell you what. She's always stealing my thunder. Not that I root for the Thunder. Go Pacers. So,
right.
just to
That's fine.
clarify,
Just say
just to
it.
clarify. So, yeah, what appears to have taken place is there's splotches of the pine trees that look like they've been oversprayed. And I know it's not uncommon to have some overspray, but I'm just hoping our guys are, well-trained in terms of the stuff that weed killer or whatever is going on there, because the dogs pick it up, people cuddle their dogs. It's just an odd mix. So maybe when and if herbicide is sprayed there could be a notice on the gate. Did a great job with closing it for the
Yeah, for
you
the
know,
seeding.
the seeding, so that, and the grass is actually growing. I can't get grass to go, so good job. And then, the only other thought I had was between Lee Road Park and Fall Creek Valley Middle School. I've been going between there on my bicycle for 27 years, and now there's a big fence.
I emailed Grant today, and it's something, we've always had an entryway. First, the convenience is obvious,
Yeah.
but I don't know if the park, city, or the school district, when the kids are climbing the fence and kid falls, breaks arms, breaks neck, and with that fence there, it is a attractive nuisance, since there's no way to enter Fall Creek, go between Fall Creek Middle School and Lee Road Park. So I reached out to Grant Nesbitt. Like I said, it's convenience, it's a safety, and it's a lawyer's dream of that fence is. So,
It's a big fence.
yeah,
It's really tall.
needs to be addressed.
So they are going to put in a.
Well, I haven't heard back, so I'll bug him.
Okay.
I'll make sure we can get. It doesn't take much for me to get a hold of Grant. He returns my calls. So, sir, Mr. Wells,
Good day, sir.
good day to you.
Apologize for the attire, but I just got off work.
Got to pay for our habits, good enough.
Yeah, I made it. Couple of
Rick,
things.
Rick, don't get out of here. I want to talk to you.
Am I in trouble?
No,
Oh, good.
nothing like that.
Yeah, I didn't want to see you gunning for me. Anyway, there was, I'm not sure if the board was aware of the complaints that the council had received a while back about kids riding motorcycles, little dirt bikes and whatnot into the park and on the trails. The ladies that came to the council and addressed the council about that problem, one of the ladies made a point to call me right before the last meeting we had to tell me that problem seems to have corrected itself. So I would assume, hoping that, the efforts with the police department and chief of staff has corrected that problem, because I've been making a point to drive through the park, of an evenings and stuff, and I've not seen any kids on dirt bikes and stuff. So hopefully that problem is resolved.
Mr. Wells, that was one of our talking points at the beginning of the meeting tonight. Mr. Burns brought up the
Oh, was
issue, everything from spinners to, non-traditional passenger vehicles going through the park and the like. And our question was that, do we have a particular ordinance forbidding it? That's one thing. You could have a law for anything, people are still going to break it, but
Yeah, and that's true. Well, I think a lot of it was, I had one police officer tell me, because when I originally got real involved in this, I've seen a couple of kids in Harrison Park, which is right adjacent
Yeah.
to the Lawrence Park, and these kids were they were flying on these little bikes, and so I called the police, and then the police officer came, and I waited for him, and I went and talked to him, and he said, well, we much rather have them doing this than other things they could be doing.
Yeah,
And I
but-
said, I understand that, but I said, riding on sidewalks and then on these walking trails, because, I don't know if you guys have been in Lawrence Park of an evening like this time. There's a lot of people that walk on those trails.
and they use that, the sledding hill, people are out there,
Yeah.
working out and the like,
It
yeah.
is. I mean, it really amazed me how many people
Yep.
utilize that Lawrence Park. And maybe during the day, not so much during the workday, but of an evening, there's a lot of people in there. So having these kids flying around these little bikes is not a good idea. And my other question, Eric, before you get away.
I'm not going anywhere.
Oh, okay. Because my other question is going to aim at you. But as Liz brought up the point, with the council meeting, one of the things was the council has at its disposal some, some money that it wants to contribute towards the park. One of the complaints that I've been getting, and it was mainly from residents in Harrison Park that walk in the park and that are, I don't know if accosted is the correct word, but is the panhandling from the homeless people that are living in the bushes and
Right.
stuff along the tracks. And I had spoken to Eric a while back that, what would the cost of that be? And, he expressed a concern as, if we clean up our portion of it, what about CSX? And so I guess the question I had at the time, how much is it going to cost? Did you contact or have you contacted CSX to see if they would be willing to clean up their portion of the property? Or would they be acceptable to just allowing the park, letting the city do it at our expense?
And we also, we kicked that around earlier the evening. CSX is, I told that to Liz when we were meeting yesterday, probably the hardest part of doing this project is dealing with CSX and finding out, I'll give Eric this homework assignment, reach out to CSX, but which utility easement runs there? We're not sure if it's AES or whomever, because there are two, our portion's relatively, that city is relatively small, correct?
Yeah, nothing really towards the Harrison Park addition. Most of our available space is towards Post Road.
Okay.
So, do you got any idea, Eric? I mean, from where the line of brush is to however far back towards the tracks, how much distance is that?
Well, the easements together are about 115 feet, 110 feet.
Well, it's quite a little bit of space.
It's quite, yeah.
Yeah.
But again, we'd have to get permission from
The interest.
from the other interests to get on there. And it might indemnify us and let us get on there. And
Well, have you ever been able to get any kind of a number to give to the council as to how much that would cost, or?
No, but I can, we can look at either, if we're doing it in-house with city forces, it'd just be renting the equipment, which I would suggest that we do.
Well, I seen on Facebook one time that you can rent a Bobcat, and then there's this device that goes on the front of a Bobcat, and it's just,
Yeah.
it's like a grinder. And, because I hired a guy down at my retirement property to go around to get rid of them multiplier roses, because
Yeah.
those things are horrible with those meat hooks that are on them. And he went around and he ground, back into the woods some, to got rid of them roses and the overgrowth and stuff. But now it's all came back, and, but you can rent a Bobcat with that device on it, and then you just find somebody, whether a park employee or somebody to operate the machine, and you can rent this machine by the week. So I can't imagine it would be expensive. Of course, then you'd have to probably get another Bobcat or that Bobcat with a bucket and clean up the mess.
Yeah, and then pay for that to get that
Yeah.
hauled off, yeah.
But I really don't think it would be a horrendous amount of money. For the good, it would, resolve the problem of the homeless people living in this brush and then coming out begging money from, the people that are walking the trails and stuff.
Eric, let me look into the area when Harrison Ford did their expansion underneath 56th Street Bridge. That was an extensive homeless encampment, and just let me reach out either to Harrison Ford or I'll go down and chat with Heather, the FHRA, to see who initiated that. I don't think that was in-house done by the city. We had to do some work, I know, on the drainage portion.
Yeah, yeah.
But let me go down and bother Heather tomorrow.
Yeah, if you guys could possibly have a number when the council has this special meeting, if we could have this presentation of a number to
What you
give to
got?
the council.
How much you have?
I heard around 150 grand. How much you need?
But it's going, no,
Yeah, well, it goes quicker than.
Oh, boy, it
yeah,
does.
So,
I think,
anyhow, I mean, to me, I just think it's something that needs to happen. And I know there was concern expressed to the council, what are you gonna do with the homeless people? And, you know, my heart goes out to these people, but that's not really on my pay grade. You know, I don't know what to do with the homeless people, but they just need to not be there. They need to be someplace else. So, don't want to sound like a bad guy, but had constituents come and complain to me, so I'm trying to get.
We
the
have to
problem.
address it. I am right there with you.
and I do
Thanks for your
think, yeah, I was just going to say, I think it is becoming a broader issue with individuals who are unhoused now that we have the Indigo, because I live over by the Ivy Tech, and we are having individuals who are unhoused where our police department, I am sure it might be something to look into, because they have a constant presence. Like, literally, my neighbor had a gentleman who he was not able to go any further on the bus because it was done. And he ended up on my neighbor's front porch, just sitting there. One individual was rolling a joint on her front porch. And so, again, my heart goes out to those who are unhoused, but I do think that we're seeing a larger presence for a number of different reasons, and it may be something that we're looking at and even talking to. I don't know if there's anything we can do with Indigo, because I can tell the police also have got to be super frustrated because the runs that they're getting around.
A lot of them are I hate the phrase, they're nuisance runs.
They are.
Yeah.
And I mean, literally, they are there all the time. And so it's taking
Yeah.
a toll on the city's finances and their abilities. So it just might be something to look into at a broader level of what the impact has been from Indigo coming into the city and what financial implications that have been, especially on the runs that our police have had to
The
take.
nuisance issues can escalate very quickly.
And just chasing them off.
No.
Problem, because they're gonna go someplace else, so, we need to hook them up with
That's exactly right.
organizations.
Yeah.
or-
That's exactly right.
The city of Indianapolis, they have a plan, of course, to put several $1 million into housing people and getting them services that they need. And so we need to make sure that those people get into the system some way or another to get the help that they need, because they almost all have some other problem other than being homeless.
I get that call frequently, from constituents, and I direct them to the trustee's office, but the trustee's office, they're very limited in what they can do.
Yeah.
It's not-
And so the trustee's office isn't exactly the end-all answer to, you can't pay your rent, you can't pay your water bill, you don't have a place to live. I mean, it is a problem, and,
These aren't people that the trustee can probably help with money.
Yeah.
They need
No.
other services beside. or
It goes
beyond
deeper
money.
than that,
So
yeah.
we've got to get them into a system where they can get the help that they need, other than just.
I would love to see some facility, something to help these homeless people. I would love to see a facility to help our homeless dogs, because we don't
I would
have,
too.
we don't have that in the city of Lawrence anymore, The directive is, if they're not dangerous or sick, just let them run. And that's how it works here with our animal control. So, it's a problem. Homelessness is a problem for man and beast here in the city of Lawrence, but it is in many places too, so.
Well, I think we need to see if the city of Indianapolis can help us out on the homeless people issue anyway.
Yeah, that would be, well,
I mean, we are in the city of Indianapolis too, so they have responsibility for this.
well, we got a team of lobbyists. They give them something to do.
Yeah, it's true. It's good.
Yeah, they give them something to do. Well, thanks for,
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Anything else? Being none, go Pacers.
Nope, very good.